Hello guys, welcome back with me, Chow 2025 in Persona 4 Golden. We're going to learn from Mr. Edogawa again. This time, the unconscious beyond space and time, the third of some lecture.
Mr. Edogawa's TV classroom.
The unconscious beyond space and time. Hello there everyone, it's time for Mr. Edogawa's TV classroom. Everyone loves Jungian psychology, an invitation to the you that you don't know. We've already on our third installment, the unconscious beyond space and time. Are you getting everything so far? If not, fast forwarding through my lecture, are you? Let's begin the lecture. Rojredio Ado Rukem Siderem. Going deeper into the unconscious. This time we will dig deeper into the unconscious. Last time I explained the existence of the unconscious. But to exist implies that there is a process through which it is created. Today's lesson will follow this process behind the creation of the unconscious. By doing so, we will close in on the shocking core of Jungian psychology. The first unconscious made individually. I'm sure this is obvious, but when we enter our world, we do not have an actual mind. Our minds are undeveloped at birth. As a child grows, his mind develops and his unconscious forms. It's easy to understand that the growth of the body and the growth of the mind are connected, right? But how exactly is unconscious created? From the moment the unconscious was acknowledged to exist, it was believed to come from personal experience. It doesn't come from nowhere. The unconscious is created through what a person experiences as he lives his life. In a sense, it's a natural idea. As you build experience, you accumulate knowledge and emotion. In other words, memories and recollections. It was thought that the mental energy from this memory gathered in a realm outside of the conscious, creating the unconscious. Did you get that? Let me explain in a simpler terms. As people live their life, they experience many things. But it's not like they remember everything that happened to them. There are memories you want to keep, but sometimes too much time passes. There are old memories and abandoned memories that you actively want to forget. To put it visually, the corpse of these memories pile up, forming the soil known as the unconscious, or something like that. At any rate, memories that fall from or are pushed out of the conscious form the unconscious. That's the common theory. Regarding these abandoned memories that I mentioned just now, in psychology, this mechanism is called suppression. It's the central subject of Freudian psychoanalysis, so let me give you a brief introduction. The second unconscious, where does it come from? Jung himself also believed that the unconscious was built from a person's experience. But as he observed his passion, he encountered an unconscious that could not be explained via personal experience. Scenery that people had never seen, creatures that don't exist, even that never happened. Passion spoke of experience they didn't have. He couldn't just file them under nonsense or reconstruct memory, so he thought about why things like this happen. Then he realized something when he found that one passion delusion was similar to an uncommon foreign myth. Man unconscious is there. It was just a groundbreaking thought, and Jung continued to test his theory. He saw several other cases in which the passion delusion were similar to myths and legends. The existence of similar myths among regions that could never have met also point to this shared unconscious. With this proof, Jung advocated his theory of the collective unconscious. Jungian structure of the mind. Let's take a look at the structure of the mind, split between the conscious and the unconscious. Conscious, personal unconscious, collective unconscious, unconscious. We've already learned that the mind is made of the conscious, which stick out at the giant hidden unconscious. The unconscious is separates into the part that is created by that person's singular life and the part that is here. This middle part here is the personal unconscious, formed by the individual's personal experience. And at the very bottom is the collective unconscious, the part shared between all people. We just talked about that. The minds of all people living everywhere and share is a very strange talk, this collective unconscious. But it is the foundation of the mind which used since birth. Because everyone's mind developed from the same foundation, this collective unconscious appeared to be shared. Okay, everyone leaning on the fast forward button, time to slow down. Hit play. This is the important quiz. I'm not sure how someone who skipped the lesson can expect to answer it, but we'll see. Are you ready? Alright, I asked D. Jung believed the mind was made up of the collective unconscious, the personal unconscious, and the conscious. A. Collective unconscious. B. Personal unconscious. G. Conscious. Put them in order deepest to highest. CBA. Too bad, that was wrong. This is like problem 10 on the first quiz you take in an intro psych course. See this chart on the board, this triangle, burn this is image. Now then, it's like our time here is over. In this lesson, you learn about the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. In the next lesson, by looking at the collective unconscious as the foundation for the mind, we will study something within our own minds. And that is for today. Okay, I'm wrong. I put I doesn't read the quiz right and put it in the wrong order. Mr. Edogawa TV Classroom, Archetype, the structure of the psyche. That's to the next lesson already.
Mr. Edogawa's TV Classroom.
Archetype, the structure of the psyche. Hello there, everyone. It's time for Mr. Edogawa's TV Classroom. Everyone loves Jungian psychology, an invitation to the you that you don't know. Avoiding the eye of the underground world order, here comes our fourth installment, Archetype, the structure of the psyche. Huh? You want to know more about that world order I just mentioned? I'll tell you about it later. Let's begin the lecture. Nama kasaga bya om arika marimuri svaha. What is the collective unconscious? For the past couple of lessons, I've pestered you with explanation of the unconscious. So I think that I've at least succeeded in snapping you out of the delusion that you are the ruler of your own mind. Today we'll further our knowledge. So let's focus on study on the unconscious, particularly the collective unconscious. The ability to recognize in the collective unconscious. In our minds, we have the conscious and unconscious. You probably see the unconscious as a deep ocean, a lonely place with nothing around. But Jung actually talked of it as a place filled with mind energy that can jolt your emotion. Why did he think this? It's because he discovered a special property held by the collective unconscious. We've already studied that the collective unconscious is shared by mankind and that it's been there since birth. So, in the deepest part of the collective unconscious lies the beginning of the mind created at birth. Now that's what's in there. The beginning of the mind has the basic element needed when the mind develops. The power of the mind, the ability to recognize patterns. Jung called this element archetypes. What love for this basic ability of the collective unconscious to recognize patterns is archetype. Jung said that the collective unconscious is made up of archetype. Conscious, personal, unconscious, collective unconscious, archetype, unconscious. In other words, archetypes form the collective unconscious. There are, in theory, limitless archetypes, and Jung named some of them. Let's take a look at the example archetype. What are archetypes? I told you earlier that Jung found the collective unconscious by finding a pattern in myths and old tales, right? That pattern itself is the classic example of an archetype. For example, in most ancient religions, there is a mother goddess that is worshipped. There have even been statues and pictures of mother goddesses found in ancient ruins. Man has felt this motherly image since ancient time. It is an archetype that has been created in our minds. Now then, about the image of the mother. When function does this hold as the foundation of the mind power to recognize patterns. Try this out. Think of the concept of a mother inside your mind. You think of the power to give birth, the power to love, to hold someone dearly, right? This archetype that this motherly image is known as the Great Mother. Of the infinite archetype, it is one of the more important ones. Interesting, isn't it? Huh? You're still wondering about that world order? You just have to suck it up this lecture. Next, I'll do a quick explanation of some other archetypes. The wise old man incurs the image of an old man with the properties of knowledgeable, teacher, mentor. Then there's the shadow, which I've mentioned before. This is also an archetype. The shadow archetype is a dark figure and represents the properties of the hated, things you don't want to have or be. Just like shadows should have personas coming from the world for a mask, this is again an archetype. From the imagery of hiding one's own face, its property is your role in society. And one unique group of archetypes include the female anime and male animus image are found only in males and females respectively and depend on gender. I'm only giving a few examples, but as you can see, archetypes are incredibly rich in variety. Boy, today's lesson was a doozy, wasn't it? Are all my lessons like this? Maybe so. Well, I'll make your quiz easy. At the very least, get your buttons ready. Are you ready? Alright, ISD. What function do archetypes have within the mind? The power to remember, the power to recognize, the power to think, the power to recognize. Good one. That's what I was talking about all this time. The idea of the archetype is the central theory of Jungian psychology. I'm not going to ask you to master the details, but I hope you can get the basics down. Starting next time, I'm going to go into in-depth description of some of these archetypes. Jung and mythology. Some of you may have noticed by now, but I've mentioned ties of the mind to mythology several times. In order to explain Jung's theories, many myths and analyses of them are brought up. You can say that mythology is a key point of Jungian psychology. I think the general opinion of mythology is folklore based off history, with a lot of fantasy thrown in. But it seems that Jung sees myth as stories that are reflected and born from the minds of people. To oversimplify it, gods and demons were created by the human mind. It's a hard idea for religious-minded people to swallow, but that was the central idea. Well, it's pretty deep, man, and it could piss a lot of people. Now then, it looks like our time here is up. That's it for today. Okay, there's still... it should be 10, right? Do I unlock all of them? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I unlock all of them. Anyway, I think that's it for today's video. We still have 6 more to go, and each video will only show you 2 lessons. So yeah, Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and see you again on the next episode. Have a nice day.